did this TV show with the F2 freestylers. They actually asked me to be full-time on their channel, but I didn't want to do it. They said like basically they would split the income with me from the channel, and initially I think it would have been bad, but like now their channel's like ridiculous. They're probably, they're on a lot of money.
This is Ben Cornish, camera operator extraordinaire. He has worked across the globe and is a legend in the automotive industry. I've had the pleasure of working with Ben many times on a multitude of projects, and we have some funny stories to share with you today.
All these engineers were there, and you were flying your FPV around, and they were whooping and cheering at you.
I've like soldered together this tiny little drone that just about flies and whizzes around for like 3 minutes.
Flying your FPV, and these guys have just made a car go 300 miles an hour. They just love this little flying drone. Like,
I'm really interested in it. I was like standing there with the goggles. Yes, I did a little like flight demo and whizzed it past. Like, I'd land, and they just start clapping, and they're like, "Woo, yeah!"
Smartest car engineers ever in the world.
And I'm like, please don't look at this closely because this is like just about hanging together. Ben gives us the harsh realities of freelance life, but also shares with us how you can succeed too. Freelancers are typically seen as more risky people because their income fluctuates typically. What do you think the key is to making freelance creative life work? It's not as clean cut as like if you hold down a corporate job where you're like, right, I've got a 50k base, and the bank is like, yep, cool, I understand this.
Yeah, they get fired tomorrow.
I think the same, right? One, they could get fired tomorrow. Two, they have one client.
Yeah.
Like you have 200 people that could call you today. He also ends up giving me some brutal advice that's tough to swallow.
Why do you do it then?
It's just not where we're going with stuff.
It's dumb. Yeah. It's absolutely dumb.
Now he's calling me out live on the podcast. Welcome to this episode of the First Person View podcast, and today I have a very special guest for you. Of course, if you've ever looked for a recommendation for a camera operator, you've probably heard of this guy. He's an award-winning, super talented, a legend in the industry, Ben Cornish.
Also a good friend.
Also, I don't know about that.
Oh. Many shoots, you know.
A very good friend as well, Ben Cornish. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast and for taking the time today to come on down to the studio. Educate our listeners and our watchers as to what you get up to today. And obviously, I just gave you a great intro. So, what do you do in your current day to day?
You said it already.
That's it.
I basically I'm a automotive cinematographer, and I shoot a lot of car stuff basically. With a lot of like-minded people like yourself, and just try and have fun and make some good car stuff.
You make sexy films of cars.
Try my best, and sometimes unsexy films, you know, depending on what the client's after. But
if they want like that dark and dingy look, whatever
or that slow and rubbish look, you know, sometimes that is required.
So how on earth have you got to this place of where you don't just step into I'm going to make cool cars of cool films? You've worked with some of the biggest brands in the world. Where did this journey start for you in terms of filmmaking? Was it a filmmaking side of things that you started off like your creative spark? Did you get like given a camera when you were 2 years old?
That'd be impressive. It all started years ago. I used to film. I used to go skateboarding in town, and I used to film my friends skateboarding. So for Christmas I got a camera, and I entered a local BBC competition and I won it. I was editing on my old iBook G4 Mac, which was made out of plastic. Good old powerhouse. And basically from there I kind of went to university, Bournemouth University, which you also went to, but I never actually met you there. I met you afterwards, which was weird.
Just never crossed paths.
And
probably because I wasn't studying film or anything.
Yeah, you were like doing like, what were you doing?
Games programming.
Yeah, which, well, I suppose is
I wasn't in the building
necessary
which had
to
like
FPV stuff, I suppose.
Yeah, I wasn't in the same building as you.
Yeah, you weren't allowed.
Not allowed in the media production suites.
Yeah. Doing all the cool stuff. So I went to uni, and the main thing for uni, it wasn't really the course that kind of did it. It was just meeting other filmmakers basically, and there are a lot of the people I have contacts out in the industry now with, and just constantly making films. It's good fun whilst we were there. Yeah. And then when I left uni, I started working for Dennis Publishing, which is where I met a good friend of ours, Sam Riley, and just did a bit more car stuff with them because they had Auto Express, Evo, and other magazines. So I was just shooting cars with them like all the time, and then it kind of just progressed from there really.
To just more and more cars.
More and more cars, yeah. And then there was Drive Tribe, that Sam and I and
Yeah.
you worked for.
I did a few jobs on
Yeah,
that.
with James Goff as well. And yeah, we kind of just progressed from there. And I think shooting a lot of the editorial stuff as well, you get to know quite a lot of the manufacturers, and then they ask you to come in and do jobs for them direct, which is pretty good.
So for those who don't know, what does an editorial film? What do you mean by that? By you say that?
Editorials are kind of like journalist reviews of cars, essentially.
So like a generic, not necessarily a supercar or any like brand new world record breaking.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it might be the new Vauxhall Corsa.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Or
mean,
like-
that's thankfully doing a lot of work for Evo. I didn't really have that those on the brief. It was kind of the cool cars. Which, I mean, initially when I started working at Dennis, the Auto Express was like you do some of those Corsa style jobs, but then like going up to the faster cars where you can make the nicer films.
Yeah.
But
So throughout that journey, you've kind of skipped over any of the hard bits, I'd say, or any of the board grindy bits, or
there
having to let
were
work.
many of them.
But the BBC News article is
God.
written when you were 15. Is when you won that award for the skateboarding film, right, in Plymouth.
How the hell did you find that?
It's called At Any Time, your
Yeah.
film, right?
Yeah. Did you find the film?
The film is not alive anywhere. There's a link on BBC, but it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, this is somewhere, but it's terrible.
And there were some quotes from you in the
God.
article, and it says they're like asking Ben, how did you how have you like owned your craft? And you're just like, I didn't set anything up. My friends just skated, and I got the shots.
That's
As simple as that.
Just drive the cars and get the shots, right?
And
I mean, with cars, you need a level of like which direction you're going in and stuff. Like it's a bit more planning than skating, where they just like do a trick off a wall.
there's also this brilliant picture
Yeah, I know.
along with the
Good old fisheye lens
article.
on the front there.
Yeah. So what setup have you got there? How did you get that
So-
camera? Was it a gift?
So the hairstyle I was rocking, I had no idea.
Yeah. Where did you get the
That's
hairstyle?
Yeah. So I actually can't remember the camera. I've got it. My friend's got it. He needs to give it back to me. I need to go and collect it from him. But yeah, it's my first camera.
So why were you the filmmaker of the group?
I don't know. I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed like, watching films and stuff and making skate videos. So I just wanted to kind of put stuff together. And I quite enjoyed like the kind of problem solving and putting puzzles together. So I found filmmaking to be that.
Okay.
So
Did you take inspiration from like MTV or like some like Tony Hawk's games? Or
yes, the Tony Hawk's games. Yeah, but there's a lot of skate films out then, like Girl Yeah Right, and like Transworld did quite a lot of. It was a magazine, did a lot of cool like travel films with skaters, and there was a weekly VHS thing that came out called 411 VM, which was like a video magazine. So it's just like watching loads of that basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from your journey from being award-winning at 15 to then choosing to go do it at uni, was it an easy choice to go and study film at university? Did you have anything else that you were contemplating going and doing? You mentioned like puzzle solving being...
Yeah, no, it was definitely going to be that. It was always going to be that. Like everyone knew me as the guy who wanted to do that stuff. So it was like meant to be.
So how was school in regards to like, you want to make films?
Yeah,
were you encouraged? No, you need to do like an academic maths, history.
Yeah, well, my so before my GCSEs, my English teacher turned around to my parents at parents' evening and said that I wouldn't be any good in the media, like because of the writing side of it. I was terrible at basically. She said, "Oh, he's not going to be.
He'll never make it.
He'll never make it." And it's funny because I'm still kind of good friends with her, and whenever I used to go in and do talks at school, I used to like bring that up, and she used to like be like, "Yeah, I was wrong." Like to be like, "Look, kid, you can do it too." But none of them ever did anything with it, I think. But
it felt good.
Yeah, it's good. And yeah, then I went to A level and did media there. I was 1 mark off an A, which is really annoying. Like out the whole
Never
2 years.
forget.
Never forget. And I tried to get into Bournemouth Uni first time. Didn't actually get in the first time. Didn't get the grades.
No way.
Yeah, because that 1 mark.
No.
Yeah. So I did a photography A level. I did the whole thing in a year. I got like literally 4 marks because it was easy.
Yeah.
Because photography's easy.
Damn, shots fired
Yeah,
early
I'm
in the
joking.
podcast.
It's a bit harder, like,
We just lost all of our photography
yeah,
audience.
Dean Smith. No, like I just found photography A level like pretty easy.
Cool.
It was. I mean, the other people on the course weren't really, hadn't touched a camera before.
Yeah,
so for me, it was like very easy to pick up. Like there was still things I learned on it, but like it was just a lot easier to pick up because I was able to visualize stuff a lot quicker.
So you did an extra year?
Yeah, I did an extra year, and then got into Bournemouth, and then got first. And one of the guys that denied me, I remember who it was. He was one of the lecturers, and I got this award for like the best. There's our own little course award for the best like achievement or something, and I shown it to him, and I was like, "Hey, you didn't let me in that time." And he's like, "Well, it seemed to have worked out." I was like,
"Yeah,
true."
How did that feel with all your mates going off to uni, and you're like, "I'm 1 mark off of going"?
Well, some people like with uni, some people take an extra year stuff. Yeah, I still have a lot of friends at home anyway, so yeah.
Having gone to uni, do you remember how much it cost your uni?
Yeah, it was.
Was it £3,000 a year?
It was cheaper. Yeah, I think it was the last year.
How dare you?
I went to the student protest though, just to film it. Didn't smash anything up, just for the record.
I went to the protest, but just
didn't smash anything up.
Documented a piece of history. What would you say is the most valuable thing you've taken from uni as an experience? Not necessarily academically that you've learned, but like life experience wise as well.
Just the ability to make films for cheap, basically. Cause there was so much. You could say, "I'm a student. Can you do it for cheap?" And people were like, "Yeah." Well, as now you can't really do that.
You still flash your NUS card.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah. But yeah, it was just meeting everyone, meeting all my friends I now have for life, but also contacts. Like when I came out of uni, a lot of people went to work at production companies, while as I basically, I was the freelancer, so everyone just hired me in to do stuff, which is good.
So you're now celebrating 10 years of being freelance this year. I think this month actually is like when you went freelance 10 years ago or so. Have you had any other jobs other than in creative world? Because some people like fund their first cameras or gear or whatever with like a part-time job or something. Did you have anything in the interim? Like you seem quite dead set. Like you knew GCSEs, I want to go media, I'm like shoot for cool films. A-level was like I'm going to spend an extra year to get to Bournemouth. It's the place I want to be, like to go study film. Like that's quite a commitment to then go and do that. Was there any interim where you were doing a job that wasn't film or creating films?
Yeah, I mean I used to, when I was at uni I worked at the aquarium, which is quite funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
What would you do there?
I was on the front desk getting people to...
You mean you fed sharks and swam around with them?
Yeah, front desk, yeah.
What?
I was getting on the front desk getting people to gift aid.
Okay.
It's quite a hard hustle, that.
You're a little salesperson on the front desk, like,
well, I mean, it was totally in their like interest to gift aid because they get a free pass for the year. So it's like, just do it.
How was it working whilst you're at uni?
It was alright because I'd only do it when I did it when I came back for the summer and on the holidays. So it was just getting some money on the meantime.
Why? Why did you feel like you had to have money? Is it just a rite of passage of like you needed to get a job that paid you something?
Yeah, because I was working. I just got a weekend job working there during my A-levels. Just because I thought like the A-levels weren't full time, so I might as well just get a job on the side as well. So I was doing that on the side, and then it went into uni. I just kept coming back just to do some shifts, just to get some extra dosh. But then like once I think I got into second year, I basically I was getting filming jobs coming in, just small things for businesses and stuff. So I was just doing that, and that's when it kind of started growing a bit more.
Yeah. So how did you get your first foot in at Dennis?
It was actually a friend of mine from uni. He worked there, and then he got a job offer somewhere else, and then said, "Oh, Ben can come in and fill in for me now." And then I just did like a few month stints. I never worked there full time. I was just like in there for like a month or two, and then would go off, and then my boss would let me take my holiday as freelance days, so I could take off like 1 or 2 days a month to do freelance jobs as long as I booked it in advance.
Yeah.
So it was quite handy just to keep fit in. But what I found was I was getting too many people asking me to do jobs outside of Dennis, so I was like, I can't just keep doing this. I've got to go off and do stuff. And
did that naturally grow? From
there. Yeah. Just get. The thing is, it's like
was that your network at university?
Yeah,
you met so many
much.
other filmmakers and like creators who are like, I'm going to go into this industry, and want to produce, and therefore you've like met people and built up a rapport.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and when you're on, you get it as well. When you're on shoots as well, you meet people, and then they recommend you for the next one. It's like a big, it grows like a virus.
Like, you can call yourself a virus if you want, but
No, the filmmaking industry is.
your reputation definitely precedes you, and I think is quite amazing. I think how many, you ask different people, and you end up at the same,
especially in the
same
car
conclusion.
industry, everyone knows each other now.
Yeah. What do you think it
I mean,
is?
you're in that world now, pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, you can always be more, and there's always other options, but it's nice when you get recommended for jobs. And what do you think it is about the service that you offer that people are happy to recommend?
I think it's just like go just working my ass off, basically, going above and beyond, just like till the shoot's finished. I think what it is just like absolutely just trying to get the job done, just get it nailed, and just putting full commitment into the shoot. And people see that, they appreciate it, and just bringing the expertise,
Because I think that's like the dream for most businesses, entrepreneurs, like creative people, is the idea of almost, no, it's not passive income in the way that you don't have to do anything, but you're getting, it's almost like all of your network are your marketing team, because when they get asked, they ask you, and therefore you've not had to spend, I say, like hard cash on like Google AdWords or sponsored ads on social media. What does that look like? You say like putting the hard work and getting the shoot done. Is that staying late, or like not, or being a bit flexible with overtime, or when they rebook dates or whatever, like not being a dick with, I don't know how you charge fees and things.
It's a bit of it all, really. Like the main thing I think is like people come to, I mean, when there's a shoot, people come to you with a problem, and your job is to solve it. That's the way I see it. And I think if you solve it to the best of your ability that makes a client happy, then that's the end. At the end of the day, is making the client happy, also making some tasty looking stuff, but it's just keeping them happy so that then they come back for the next one. And it's the same with like, if I can't do a job, I'll pass things on, like I've done with you before. I pass job on purely because, like, one, I'd rather get my friends in than a random person, and two, it comes back around, doesn't it? Like, and also producer, they come to you with a problem, they need to find someone to fill this role, and if you do that, it's like, oh, that's handy, I'll go to the next time. So it's like
so you also met a lot of people in a lot of different realms. You had that like group at uni who you're going to be friends with forevermore and going to recommend all the different people that you know. Like you've got your black book from there in terms of like a list of people who do different things. Exactly. You met Sam Riley at Dennis.
Yes.
And he's probably, I assume, probably one of the best connections you ever made in terms of how your career is at right now, in terms of you both working in like similar industries and like pushing each other to keep doing better. And you have like standards which you like know which each other are going to achieve. Is there anywhere else that you've met people who've had such a big impact on your career? I think in terms of like someone listening or watching right now, they'd be like, oh, what's my like place where I could go and like meet all these people to then like get all these recommendations in? You were at a job and you met Sam and it was like right place, right time. Have you had any other instances where you're like, oh, I met this one, like I met Alison on this job and I like connected with her and now like I have all this like work that's branched out from them?
I'm trying to think now. I mean, there's just like so many instances where you just meet somebody on a job and then it just like it branches out. But I think the main one was probably the Dennis one with Sam, just because like exponentially it's grown. I mean, obviously the Top Gear stuff, that's grown quite a lot. We do quite a lot of stuff for them now.
How did you get in with Top Gear?
I think it was James Goff that got me in.
Okay.
Quite a few years ago.
So how did you meet James?
Through Dennis / Drive Tribe.
So it's all like, all like incestuous in the car industry, people just knowing people, and then like, oh, I work on Top Gear and come along, be a camera operator.
Actually, it was Drive Tribe. I did my first job with them on Drive Tribe because he was at Dennis, but I'd already stopped kind of doing stuff with them at that point. Like, Well, not I was doing it with Evo, but not the main like Auto Express kind of side.
So I think a question which a lot of people would probably like to ask you. You just name dropped Top Gear. What's it like working for Top Gear?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Like they're good fun shoots, and everyone's there having a laugh. I mean, the magazine, like they just want to drive cars and have fun, and especially when we do Speed Week, which we've both done.
There's
like,
very
it's
fun
just
weeks.
it's intense. Like there's long hours, but also what you're shooting's like. It's not the worst thing in the world, is it? It's like it's cars ripping it around the track. You know, you get time to practice, and that's the thing with it. Like, it's the editorial is a good time to like hone your craft and like get your skills up to scratch, so you can take it out to like the bigger commercial
world where like
jobs. Yeah,
larger brands are like
yeah,
commissioning
absolutely.
like projects for like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds, and you're on the job doing the
exactly. Like it just the editorial, not the, it's not. With the editorial, like it's just such a good way to just like literally just practice those skills and just try out techniques and just try and make cool stuff basically that you want to look good.
So you've owned your craft, you've gone to uni, you've studied, like since a young age you've been award winning and clearly very talented at what you do, and now you're, as I say, your reputation I imagine brings in most of your work. Have you ever considered setting up a production company? And or on the other side of that question, you've chosen to stay freelance. I don't know how many times you make that decision, but the opportunity must have come where you could be offering like the full start to finish product to a client, and as a freelance camera operator, you're taking like a small chunk of the pie, but then with that comes less responsibility, which is sometimes beneficial. Yeah, exactly. So I'm interested to know, have you ever had the consideration to like build your own production company? Like you have all the gear and the contacts to like start doing that, but if you've clearly decided not to do that, and I'm interested why.
The main thing is I like shooting stuff mainly. I can edit as well. I do like sometimes like editing, but I just try and avoid it because it sometimes it drags on and then it starts like affecting the shooting, which is the bit I like the most.
Yeah.
So try and shoot with people that are good editors, so that then they go and do all the fancy stuff. And yeah, like, I mean, I have done full projects, like start to finish, but like I just find it very time consuming, and it gets in the way of like shoots essentially.
The fun bits,
right? Yeah. I'm still having fun, and like I was chatting to a couple of my friends from uni. They basically got a production company, and one thing they said was just like having employees they never considered was they have to, the human resources part of it, right? You have to look after people now. Like they think, oh, we'll be fine, we just get some people in, it'll be chill. And it's like, no, you're a business now. You have to have a HR kind of thing going on, and
you're a people manager now, right?
Pretty much.
And secondly, a camera operator.
And they've also, I mean, they've had their challenges with dealing with some of the members of staff, but they've got a good team now. But it took a while just to hone that in. Just they thought they had a good team, but then people get disgruntled and this and the other.
People go and do their own thing as well.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Like people realise, I'm working for someone else and I don't want to anymore.
Which they were really good. They were totally on board. If you want to go off, we'll help you and this and the other. But I think the person was just a dick basically. So
you don't want to deal with any of that faff, and you just want to be on the shooting end of
I think so. Yeah, like it's so much less responsibility. And at the moment I'm like, I mean I could change course, but at the moment this is where I like being. So more of that, please.
How do you find the stability of being in freelance life? I think certainly parents who have children that are considering a creative role would be scared about the fluctuations in income and how you can make it work from the start and things. I'm interested to hear how you're how consistent how you deal with the inconsistency and the consistency sometimes, but also the like block booking of like, I have no spare time in the next 6 weeks, to like, I suddenly got 2 weeks without a booking, like what's going on? I'm like, okay.
I mean this week's a prime example. Like I was booked this week for a week long in California, and that got postponed.
Why?
Don't know. Just
Okay.
I find it a lot recently since COVID. Me and Sam would talk about it the other day. Like, people just keep being flaky with stuff, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just move it," which is, they're like, "Oh, it's fine. We'll get you on it when we move it." But it's like, yeah, but what if like I'm not available then? Like,
And you probably turned down work
yeah,
for this week
I turned down work as well, like,
because or got someone else to cover it for you. Or
yeah, exactly. So it's just annoying, but like next week's manic, like pretty much like one day off. Just like split it up, but like it's the way it is. Like, I just like seeing the diary. If there's bits missing in the diary, I get annoyed. Maybe it's like OCD, I don't know.
It's got to be full.
Yeah, it's just yeah, you just got to manage it and stuff, and like, you know, someone pencils you, and then someone else tries to book you, and you have to like chase them. Like, I had one last week, and they took 48 hours to try and confirm a pencil, and it was, by that time it was too long. I had to like take this other job, and they got annoyed with me, and I was just like, well, the employee got annoyed with me, but then the boss, who I know, was like, "No, you took too long. Like, that's not how it works." Like, they understood, but like, it's, you know, it's frustrating. I wanted to do both jobs. Didn't want to let people down, but, and I the thing is, I'd already said to them, like, I'll find you. I found someone for them who was free.
That's why they come back to you. You're the solution. You got all these solutions.
Exactly. Like, I didn't leave them in the lurch. I mean, they had a whole month anyway to sort it out.
Okay.
And that their shoot will probably get, that client has moved stuff before, so I would not be surprised if that gets moved anyway.
Yeah, we had a shoot. Literally, it was supposed to be today, in central London, but it's been postponed, and they're hopefully confirming today when it's going to be. Because for us, we've got like sort of the permissions out.
And
that's
of course.
like,
I suppose there's a lot more planning involved for you, right?
For certain shoots. So like in central London, in some areas, we always try and like apply for permissions, even if it's a 1 day shoot. Like, I might apply for it over 2 weeks, like the permissions. Yeah. But even then, like, oh yeah, we'll just push it back a month. It's
so
like,
if you get an unlock key or whatever from DJI.
So there's 3 areas in London where you have to fill out this online form, and it basically gets sent out to like the Met Police and all these other diplomatic protection groups that control all the movements of VIPs in London, and they want to know where drones are flying in these certain areas, like Westminster and Buckingham Palace, or near. There's like so many embassies in central London. Yeah. Then there's like Canary Wharf one, and there's one near like Tower of London and St Paul's and on that kind of way. Yeah. But on their website, it's like, oh, give us 21 days notice. But in our experience at the moment, literally, that sometimes it happens. Like, oh, we want to. I literally had this inquiry come in last week. Like, can we? Oh, we've got this idea. We want to shoot this drone shot next week in Central. And it's just like, I can put the permissions in, but there's like no guarantee that this is going to come back through. But then once you've got that, you can then unlock it on DJI. Yeah. And then the DJI drones will fly.
How long does that take, the DJI thing?
The DJI takes between 10 and 15 minutes.
Does it? Because it used to be longer than that.
No, so
it
there's
used to be like days, didn't it?
I don't know if it's someone in the UK or someone in China, but there is someone spamming the accept button. I don't know how it works.
Really?
I mean, you've got to attach like the right paperwork and things to the job.
Sure.
And sometimes they push back like, oh, you haven't attached the right things, and it's like you have to explain it sometimes. What you've attached. But
interesting.
But typically within 10 or 15 minutes.
That's pretty good. It comes back.
It's good. Which is helpful, right? Like one less thing to have to worry about, but you still need the right paperwork to get certain places. Certain places unlocked.
There was a job recently that I'd cancel, and it was in London, and it was because there was like a GPS thing going on like a couple of weeks ago.
Cool.
Yes, there was
no
a
time. There was like a GPS jamming thing going on.
What was that about?
No idea. Probably just testing some equipment.
Oh, okay.
Probably. Like when they, when the US president visits or something, and they want to like jam a certain signal, they're probably just testing it out.
Yeah, they don't want drones flying around.
But they have all sorts of ways of like detecting drones. I've worked with on jobs where we're testing different equipment for the military to like. Yeah. They're like, oh, fly in this park, and we'll see if we can notice you. Yeah, in different ways. How long would you say it took you? I'd say like financially, but to get a steady income where you were like happy that this is a career that's viable. Obviously you worked at Dennis, like, and that was like a couple of months contract here and there, and then you had other freelance work come in. Was it fairly soon after leaving uni that you were like, I can make this work, I can pay my rent, I can like have enough money?
It was pretty much like it was cheap was cheaper back then, the rent anyway. So, and I was sharing
The good old days.
sharing a house as well. So like it wasn't. It was just a lot cheaper. The rent was less of an issue than it is now. But I initially did like a big edit because I had an operation when I came out of uni. I basically dislocated my shoulder years ago, so I got it just completely fixed because it just kept popping out every now and again. So I had to. It was like 6 weeks off. So I did a load of editing work.
Damn.
So like got a big chunk of money there, and then that was moved to London. But I already had other work lined up. So it was good. And then like when I got the FS7, that was like more people were booking on stuff because it was the camera to go for.
Yeah.
Back then.
So you saved up to pay for
yeah,
that?
Well, I actually borrowed some money off my mum. No, like a loan, but just no interest on it. So
thanks, Mum.
Yeah, so I paid it back within a year.
Nice.
Yeah. So because it was camera was going out on everything, and that paid itself off. I sold it the other day, unfortunately.
Oh.
To a friend, obviously.
Okay.
Go.
You know it's going to, isn't it? You know it's going to a good place.
Yeah.
So it didn't take you too long to like settle down into like I can.
No, I mean,
I'm trying to like envisage this from people who are starting businesses, entrepreneurs, other like creatives who are like trying to make things work, and they're like, oh, have I got like 5 years to grind before I'm like at a place?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I was just basically just saying yes to everything.
Okay.
Really.
Were you actively trying to get more work, as in like hitting up your friends like, oh, if you've got anything, like let me know? Or were you going to like networking meets and shaking hands? And
not really. I was just, because a lot of it was coming my way anyway from people sending it over and doing previous jobs. It like kind of grew like that. I was quite lucky in that respect. I also did this TV show with the F2 freestylers for London Live.
Okay.
And that was a good chunk. And I met through them I met like a few people as well, like YouTube people. They actually asked me to be full time on their channel, but I didn't want to do it. And they said like basically they would split the income with me from the channel. And initially I think it would have been bad, but like now their channel's like ridiculous. They're probably they're on a lot of money.
You'd be minted.
Yeah, but then at the same time I'd just been filming them, and I mean they're great guys, but like I like the variation.
Yeah, I mean since then you've filmed a lot of cool stuff, and your show reels certainly boast projects from around the world, a lot of amazing places, people, and expensive looking cars.
Yeah.
What do you think is the thing that you have enjoyed shooting the most? And you can't answer cars as like a generic answer.
I think I just like doing the kind of like hero kind of commercially kind of style films, just because you get to make something really energetic and concise rather than like a longer form review where it's like 15 minutes. Like I think that the shorter films, like a minute to 90 seconds long, really just shows what the shoot was about and the best, more concise shots. And
so it's more like thought about rather than a literal 15 minutes with the car for a 15-minute video.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, they are good fun as well, but like I think the shorter ones are just, it's really cool. You can just have the best shots and make it really quick, really snappy, and do something cool.
So I know you've also worked on those jobs. You work with a myriad of celebrities from around the world. So you've was it last year with Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc? So like two F1 drivers.
Mick Schumacher the other day, that was good.
Yeah, you were in Tokyo last week.
Yeah.
It's just so mad.
That's so funny.
Shooting Mick Schumacher, which looked awesome by the way. It looks so cool. You also worked with KSI, I think.
Yeah.
On his Can't Lose film.
Can't Lose, yeah.
Who makes you get all fangirly? Or who are you like? Have you ever been around a celebrity and been like, oh, it's KSI?
Not really. No, I mean the F1 drivers a bit more so, just because like I'm actually into F1.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
have you ever asked to take a picture with them?
No, the only person I took a picture with was Peter Andre, and that's only because he was offering loads of people. We were on a shoot from McDonald's, cool. And he was offering. He was like, "Go on, let's take a picture." He was like the nicest guy I've ever met in my life. He was so good.
Really?
He sat down and had McDonald's with us afterwards, and he was just like taking the piss out of us all, being like, "Look, you're so young. I can't eat McDonald's like you guys." He's hilarious.
He still looked amazing. And
he's still like a cool guy.
Damn. Okay, so you've worked with like all these celebrities, done all this cool stuff.
Yeah.
Possibly one of the most prestigious jobs on your resume is working at the Olympics, maybe?
Yeah, 2012, yeah.
What was your involvement with working on the London Olympics?
So I basically, they came to our uni to hire people to help out, basically, and it was meant to be camera assistants, but there was a guy there, his name was Bobby Wang, and he was looking for an elite task force to do camera operator for some of the conferences, like after event conferences, and I managed to. He spotted me doing some cool shots,
doing his thing,
and he said, "Oh yeah, I need you to come on this elite task force. I'm putting a team together." And I basically went to the aquatic centre.
Code name,
sorry, aquatic. That's all right. Yeah, the Avengers. Went to the aquatic centre, and when I got there, the director for that area said, "Oh, I'm down a camera operator. Do you want to like jump on?" He's like, "Have you ever used robotic stuff?" And I said, "I'm good on video games." And he's like, "I'll do." So I started doing the periscope underwater camera, which is quite cool.
Periscope underwater camera.
Yeah, so it's basically like, it's a big like see-through kind of box that has a camera that goes up and down below the water, and it can pan left and right. And I basically controlled where it looks. So it's usually used for replays a lot, or like, I was constantly doing stuff with it. It was used for replays and just getting like atmospheric shots. So they've got the scoreboards coming up and stuff like that. And yeah, that was quite cool. And then after that, I did the when the swimming was over, I did the synchronized swimming, and I was on like the elevated platform, one of like the main cameras that was looking at them.
Cool.
So that's quite cool.
It's crazy, that stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I could never.
Yeah, it's really hard to film because the way the water looks, they're like coming over this, like over there, and then they suddenly appear over here, and you're like, whoa. Well, so we had to keep 4-3 safe as well, because obviously.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, back in 2012, a lot of the world still had 4-3
square televisions. Damn, that's quite an interesting insight.
Yeah.
And you did the Paralympics as well?
Yes, Paralympics. That was in the stadium.
Cool.
That was quite cool. I was assisting a Steadicam op for that mainly.
Nice. So down on the ground, boots on the ground.
Yeah, it's good.
So you operated like loads of different cameras in that.
Yes.
On that job, and
a lot of live stuff mainly, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Another camera which you operate, which is not the norm, is the Cornish arm.
Yes.
Can you tell the listeners what the Cornish arm is and where it began and why on earth it's important?
Yes. So the Cornish arm is basically a broken down Inspire 2 that I use for car tracking, because the Inspire 2 is just so good at handling G-forces and everything basically. It's just like really good at tracking. Yeah. I've got another tracking rig and it's just not as good as the Inspire. The Inspire 2 was just so smooth. And I wasn't the first person to do it. Dave Hale is the first person I saw doing it. I think that might have been someone else did it before him. But yeah, Dave Hale's the first person I saw do it, and he's got like a broken down one. But I contacted a guy called Alex Johnston, who did a really, really good job. He's a bit of a wizard when it comes to building FPV stuff and things like.
I've seen the rig.
Yeah, and he basically he took it apart. He 3D printed a load of stuff in it, and did a really, really good job with it.
So this is now like a drone, no longer with any arms or
it's got cheese plates on the side, so I can just put Magic Arm straight into the side of it, and still does what the drone does.
So typically, how much would a Russian arm setup cost for a day?
For a day?
For like a ballpark. I don't know, as in I'm trying to think. Well, actually, to buy it initially, like you've got the car and all the monitors and all the live feed, and like
$100,000 easy.
$100,000 easily. Okay, how much?
But like the thing is, the Russian arm. It's not called a Russian arm. The thing is, though, the Ukraine does it does have advantages. Like you've got the boom arm that goes up and around and stuff. But I think like with the Inspire 2, the main benefit for it is you can just do really good chase stuff. Like you can go fast with it. I've got 100 mile an hour out of it before.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. Like chase a car around the track. You can put it on pretty much any car. Chase it. Like you can put it on a McLaren if you wanted to chase another McLaren. Like it's good.
I've seen that done, and it's quite weird. I think it draws a lot of attention when you put it on, because it looks so like shitty rigs in a way. But when I think people see the footage, they're like, oh yeah, I understand this now.
Thing is, with the Cornish arm, it looks less rubbish because it actually looks like a camera system rather than like just bolted a drone to the front of the car.
Some yellow sponges.
Yeah, still use the sponges.
Okay.
Take the vibrations out.
So 10 years freelancing in this film world.
Yeah.
How many jobs do you think you have done in the last 10 years? Like ballpark? Because like when I look online to see your portfolio, you just keep scrolling, and then like I go to your website and it's like, oh, there's even more here. Oh, your Instagram, there's even more here.
It must be over like 500, 600, I think.
Which is crazy, don't you think?
If you think like how many jobs a year, like 50, 60 jobs a year, maybe. No, yeah, definitely be more than that. And 10 years, that's like, it's a lot. Yeah.
One of those jobs, you created actually it's not really a proper job. I say it's not really a proper job. Confidential Trust.
Oh God.
Which was your major film in your uni. It's a cool little 12-minute shoot 'em up
spy film. Yeah. It's good, man.
Little traitor vibes on the rooftop.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think
that was at uni. I made that. Like I made a Kickstarter, and my family and stuff basically helped fund it.
No way.
Yeah. So.
I didn't even know you had to like get funding to. I mean, like
it's mainly because
there's a load of talent in there, and like there's also like hire of loads of weapons and
I just spray some BB guns.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but also like I don't know if you had to deal with like permits in London to deal with like guns and things.
To be fair, I actually contacted the police about it. Yeah, and I said to him because initially I said I was going to use I had just a normal 2-tone BB gun, and I chatted to this police officer, and I said like we've got a location on a rooftop and this that and the other, and he was pretty chill about it, and he said what guns are you using? I said we're just going to use BB guns, but they're the wrong thing, and he said as long as we don't get called out, I don't really care. Cool. So I was like, okay, spray that one. So I sprayed it up, and then we but the scene inside, like the shootout scene, we contacted the police about that as well. We contacted because it was inside. We contacted the location, and they contacted the police as well to say like, is it all okay? And I think they said pretty much like it's inside, just as long as you put signs up saying what you're doing, then it's okay. Because it was in like an office thing, and we just had the only thing that people that could see in were this office next door, and we just let them know. Cool. So yeah, it like we were inside. If we were going around the streets, I totally get it. You'd need way more permissions, but because we were doing it inside, I think they were just like, yeah, that's okay, that's fine.
How important would you say that made that final like major piece? Is that like the main piece in your final year project, right? To like, much, like to produce and write and script and direct and shoot and everything that film.
I think it cost me $3,000 in total, that whole thing.
And you like crowdfunded that a little bit?
Yeah, because the problem is you just like you had to make stuff look good, and like to make a drama. Like, I was obsessed with Spooks at the time, the TV show. To make a drama like that, you have to put some money into it. You know, like that's
pretty good for a $3,000 budget to make that happen.
Yeah, we like my mum. She helped get me the locations. She was like really good at that. She's like begging people to do stuff, and they let us have it for cheap, real cheap, some of it. How important has that film been to the rest of your career? Obviously, like it's quite a major thing to do from start to finish, as in like a project of like, in terms of dealing with all of the parts of like the creative, in terms of like storyboarding to editing and delivering. How important has that been? I'm just trying to think of. I did like a final like major project. I ended up mixing games programming with my love for drones, and I made a drone simulator. So like with an Xbox controller, you could like learn to fly a drone. Is that any good?
No. But I learned like a fair amount, and like I got a first in my degree, and I'm done with it. Okay, cool. But for people that, if there's anyone younger listening, or like, I'm just interested to know what you learned from that. And at the time, it's probably like the most important thing. Like you just got to like get it done, like, whatever. But
it's I mean, it teaches you how much effort goes into having a project by yourself, and how much pressure and stuff like that.
Did that put you off doing the whole production company?
Yeah, a little bit. There was a lot going on with that, like, and people, because obviously it was students who weren't really paying any actors and stuff like that. Like we pay their accommodation and food and stuff, but a lot of them would do it for free for experience because they wanted to be part of it.
Yeah.
But like it's hard to nail people down sometimes when they get paid work coming in, and it's
unreliable if you're not paying people.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it was tough. Like, and we pulled it off, but there was a lot of things that I remember we were getting kicked out of the location because person who was looking after the building suddenly decided that she wanted to go to dinner an hour early or something. It's like
Brilliant.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah. So like we're getting kicked out of one of the locations. And it's like, why did you? It's like, I'll give you more money.
Yeah, please just take one.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned Mama Cornish helping out to get some funding and some locations filled in. Shout out forever.
Yeah.
Mama
Yeah,
Cornish.
she did such a good. She's like, because she's an estate agent, not the dick kind, thankfully. She actually cares about people. She was just like really good at just haggling.
Has she always been one of your biggest cheerleaders?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's the one that wanted to go to Bournemouth. Well, I wanted to go to Bournemouth as well, but she was the one that was like,
believe in yourself. Yeah. You can do it.
Smash it. Like drive me to the open days and be like, go.
Yeah.
Interviews and stuff. So.
Who else makes up your like support network to make your freelancing creative career happen?
Just other freelancers, really. Just like
shout
helps
out
each
to
other out.
Shout
out to the boys and girls.
Shout out to the boys and girls. Poppy,
the dog,
your little chihuahua.
Yeah, not so much.
No. Just keeps you sane a little bit. Shout out to the
Red Dragon. That's the other one. And the Cornish arm.
So, other than making films and being like behind the camera, which is where you love to be, I also know you're a keen stills photographer. From your Flickr page, you've got like quite the.
I used to take 35mm stills.
They look so cool.
Yeah, I don't do it as much anymore.
Ever thought of a career as a stills photographer?
No.
Fuck that.
Nah. It's a whole different. I'd have to relearn stuff. Like, the stills you see some of the car photography is like amazing. Like, they make it look really good, and everyone's got their own unique style as well, which is cool.
Yeah,
it's not everything just looks the same. I suppose
it's not the same way. It's not the same way to shoot.
Yeah.
Similar styles or whatever, but everyone has their own little unique. Unique. What do you reckon the Ben Cornish flavour is on shooting
try and
stuff?
keep it steady, I suppose.
That's it. That's the secret sauce.
Yeah, I think so. Having worked with James a lot more recently, James Goff, I do a lot more handheldy kind of stuff because he's into that.
Yeah,
which is cool,
but different. And that's his flavour. His
flavour it's good. It's good. It's good being able to mix it up. And the thing is, like shooting with so many different people for so many different projects as well. I find that, like, I bring along stuff I've learned from other shoots and put them in to other areas and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
It's nice. What else do you love outside of filmmaking and cinematography then? If it's not still photography. I've seen you climbing up walls and clambering.
Yeah, I don't do climbing as much anymore. I need to get back into it. COVID kind of ruined that a little bit. But I go swimming quite a lot. Yeah. I go swimming, which is good exercise.
I know it's like a part of the job, but you enjoy traveling as well, seeing the world.
Yeah, it's good. It depends. Sometimes I do, and then sometimes I just want to go home. Can't wait to be just in my own safe space.
Where is your home safe space?
Twickenham.
Nice. Yeah. And that's just
Wow. Yeah, it's just my flat basically. Like, it's nice to be back in my area with the Nando's on speed dial.
It's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Can you share with us what your relationship with social media is, both personally and we heard that word a lot when we were asking questions about social media, but both personally and like through your business work, or is it like mixed into one in terms of like there's one like.
Yeah, Benjamin kind of Cornish. Have the whole thing mixed into one, really, because it's like who I am essentially. Like, so, I know some people, they do it a bit more business orientated, or they have two separate things. But like, I find it easier just having it as me, because people hire me, they phone me, so it's easier just having my personal thing. And the thing is, like, everyone I work with anyway, like, I feel like you get quite personal with people quite quickly. Like after a day of shooting, like you feel like you're best mates with people, because it's like you're just going through it together. Yeah, you've both been on that roller coaster of whatever happens on that shoot. What happens on a shoot stays on a shoot.
Well, talking of that, can you share with us anything that's gone? Actually, I say anything that's gone like terribly wrong, but that's really like such an open-ended question, because so much goes wrong on every single shoot. Yeah,
cars are the main ones. They just keep breaking down. Like new, old, everything just keeps breaking.
So it's not the people, it's the
machines. Yeah, they're so unreliable sometimes. Like, and even new cars, you think, oh, they'll be fine, but no, something will go wrong. Some software thing will happen, always, or a sensor's broken or something. Yeah, it's just that's the most annoying thing. It's the most gutting thing as well, because you go to film something, and yeah, your day gets like just because the car doesn't work.
Yeah, I can share one experience which we've had together. We won't name names, but we flew abroad to go and film a car, and stayed overnight. We like planned to stay there for a couple of days.
We've got a good morning's worth of stuff.
Shoot a prototype car.
We got a good. Remember in the morning? We shot some
it's stuff. Gorgeous weather. I had the location.
Like, this is looking good, guys.
This is looking great. And then the driver was like, I think the clutch is going or something. Like something's going wrong in the car. I was flying the FPV at the time, so I was like, oh, I'll just stay in the air, like he'll be back out in a second. And then there was a thermal incident back at base, and
shut the whole racetrack down.
Shut the whole racetrack down because of a fire, because of something overheating or whatever. And that was the shoot wrapped, and then we just flew home and cried about it that night. In terms of we were trying to like scrape together all our footage, like, have we got a film? Have we?
It never went anywhere.
Have we got a film? No.
It didn't go anywhere.
We just didn't get enough from that shoot.
Yeah.
Have you got other experiences like that?
Yeah, there's another manufacturer where the launch got cancelled because it just wasn't ready. Car wasn't ready.
A whole launch? As in like month-long launch or something? Or was it just like it was there a couple of days event?
2 week, basically. So we were out there waiting to shoot stuff, but the car just kept not being ready, and just like it was cursed. Like day after day, something bad would happen. Like someone crashed one of the cars and stuff. Like it was
That's proper.
Not because it was broken, but just because of their own incompetence. But someone crashed a car, and then the next day, like this would happen or that would happen. Sam's truck was broke on it, and like every day was something going wrong. But yeah,
how do you control the emotional state in which you turn up into a job, and then obviously you know that anything can happen at any time on these shoots? Obviously you've got a very good reputation, and I think we both know people who you wouldn't necessarily recommend because of the emotional state in which they like project onto others. So
who are you talking about?
I don't know.
It's one individual. I mean I do, like that example, like I don't recommend that person just because you can't. It'd be embarrassing, right? It just gets angry way too quickly, like really angry.
But they don't represent the values which you pride yourself on.
No, exactly.
You would like.
Yeah.
Do you consciously think about how you're turning up to a job, because you obviously like give a good first impression, and obviously exactly, leave a good lasting impression as well from a job.
I mean, the main thing for me is like I know Sam gets this as well. It's like sometimes I get a bit anxious before jobs if you don't know the plan, or there's no plan, or it's like, oh, we'll wing it, or stuff like that, because you just don't know if you're going to be able to do that. Whereas if you know, like, if there's a plan and what's going to happen and this and the other, like you turn up a bit more like happy and ready to go. Well, as when you get there and you're still trying to figure stuff out, it's just really like, you know, scattered in your head. You're trying to figure out, right, how can we compartmentalize this day essentially?
Yeah.
But that's down to the client incompetence. But yeah, it's a bit more like annoying when you rock up to a shoot and they don't quite know what you're doing, or something's broken or something's gone wrong, or like, oh, you can't do this because of that, or like they're using the track, or it's
like, how do you, have you ever like piped up, or like I say like got angry, but like let your emotions loose in terms of like, I mean, you probably have, because I say like being just the camera operator, you're not like running the show, and therefore like your opinion on like what we should prioritize, or like how things should go is probably different sometimes to what the producers or like the directors are like choosing to do. Like you might know that the weather's going to be way better in the morning. Like certainly from like the drone side of view, there's times where we're like, it would be so much better if we shot this drone stuff like now. Whereas like in 2 hours, like it's not going to be ideal, and we're not going to be able to get this. But like we're also not in a position sometimes where we can have that authority. Like we could maybe suggest it and open up the conversation, but it's not like a, right, everyone, we're doing the drone stuff now. And it's going to happen. Have you had those moments where you're like, you have to bite your tongue and just accept?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, you have to, like, you know, it's all about if you can't effing blind at people.
You can
do.
You just want to get the call back. That's the thing.
Well, maybe they like it, you know.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. It's yeah, you like, you know, you got to bite your tongue with that sort of thing. Even though some people are fucking idiots.
So you just keep your mouth
But like
shut.
it's you just got to keep the peace and play it cool. Just be nice to people because I mean they appreciate. I've noticed that people appreciate that as well. I mean, but also at the same time, you got to recommend these things. Like you said, if it's best to shoot now, just to save your own ass. I've had it a few times, where I recommended things and they've not done it, and it's like at the end they've been like, "I wish we'd done that." It's like,
But you're glad you said it because then
it's not my fault.
you kind of like covered your ass.
someone else made the call not to listen to me. It's like, okay.
I've got a picture here from your Instagram. Oh, what's it gonna be?
Oh god.
And it's a rare picture. You don't find these online anymore, or like pictures of these, because it's taken so long ago. This is a picture of.
Oh, that's when I did the F2. That wasn't me shooting that, by the way.
So well, this is a picture of a Phantom 1, I think, a DJI Phantom 1 drone with the GoPro hard mounted on the bottom, which is. You posted this in February of 2014.
Yeah.
Was that you flying the drone?
No, it was when I did that F2 freestylers show called it F2 Kicks Off, and it was the producer flying it, and it was in the Olympic Park.
Of course it was the producer flying it and not like a camera operator.
Yeah, those guys were cowboys. Anyway,
shots fired.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows it.
Okay.
And yeah, like I think they got a shot, and then the drone just like fucked off basically. It was in the Olympic Park, which apparently had a GPS like thing over.
No way.
Yeah, I think they got it back, but like it was like ages away.
I've heard of other people having issues at Stratford near the Olympic Park.
I wouldn't be surprised.
With an Inspire 2, as in like they were filming and then it just went.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Interesting.
Wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's got a big stadium there. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. How much does, on that like topic of equipment, like that was like very new drone stuff that was still being trialed.
That was like the pinnacle of engineering back then.
It was.
DJI made their own
hard
cameras.
mounting.
And it was like, whoa,
so like all the vibrations and all of the angles of the drone would be in the shot. There was no gimbal.
Yeah.
It was like, like the F1 head cam. If you've seen that, you get all the shakes and all of the like
that's
vibrations.
part of it though, the F1. But
yeah. How much does new equipment occupy your headspace, and like how on the pulse are you of like what's coming next, and how do you deal with seeing other people get all the new equipment if you're not going to buy it yourself?
It's a difficult one because I keep saying don't buy new stuff and then I do. But the problem I've got at the moment is I keep buying stuff just to get my tax bill lower, but when I'm applying for a mortgage and stuff like that, it doesn't work like that. Like you need it to look higher and pay more tax and stuff, which is a bit annoying. I mean, it's at the moment I'm in a good place with it, but then Sony released that Burano, which looks pretty cool. So I'm gonna go and see it tomorrow, see what it's about, and maybe buy it. It's more for me now. It's about what will get out on jobs essentially. What will I get my money back from?
Yeah,
I'm hoping that will. I mean, the Red's done well. We bought an FX6 recently. That got quite cheap anyway. But that's done well.
Do you typically get hands on with a piece of equipment before buying it then?
Yeah, I tried.
So like rather than just watch the promotional film.
Yeah, especially if you're going to spend like 20-25 grand, it's probably best to touch it.
Like viewing a house before you. Rather than just looking at the pictures, being like, oh, that's nice specs.
Yeah. But it's a tough one. Like, I mean, I'd love to buy more kit. Like I was looking at the Sigma Primes just to rent out because they're so sharp, Cine Primes. But yeah, you can't have everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, what's the bit of gear would you see other people have that you're like, no, you've like put your stake in the ground. I am not going to buy this. Like right now, like you say, those Sigma Primes, like you didn't.
Yeah,
buy them.
I mean, I saw a Komodo X. I was very tempted by that, but then I kept the Dragon instead. So.
Do you think clients would have cared if you'd got the Komodo?
To be honest, a lot of it makes my life easier. What makes my life easier as well. It's a smaller camera than the Dragon, so it'd been easier to carry and stuff. So yeah, most of the time when I buy kit, it's mostly to make my life easier. So which is good. Like, there's this filter that does this for me, or this that does that.
So it's actually more like convenience rather than
like, definitely.
A fad of like, oh, there's a new iterative upgrade of the whether it's more like, actually this is way easier to travel with, has like
absolutely. Like I upgraded my hand luggage the other day to like a roller and a smaller rucksack that fits under the seat. And it was Charlie Rose from Top Gear. He basically says that's his go-to setup, and I've got it now, and it's amazing. Like, you just roll it around the airport, you don't have to carry a big rucksack anymore.
Damn,
which is pretty good. I can fit the Cornish arm inside.
The new Cornish arm fits inside. That is going to be interesting going through an X-ray.
Yeah. Funny enough, though, no one's ever. I've done 2 trips with it. No one's pulled it over.
That is more concerning, especially with drone stuff. Yeah. But like camera gear, when it doesn't get put to one side, you're like, it really should get put to one side.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
You should like check out what's in here.
Yeah.
So you kind of proven by the length of your career that you can make this work financially. Yeah. But you kind of mentioned there about, I don't say struggling to get a mortgage, but like, it's not as clean cut as like if you hold down a corporate job where you're like, right, I've got a 50k base and I get a 10% bonus every year, and like I've held it for like 7 years, and the bank is like, yeah, cool, I understand this.
They get fired tomorrow.
And I think the same, right? They could get fired tomorrow. 2, they have 1 client.
Yeah.
Like you have 200 people that could call you like today to be like,
it's done.
It's anyway, done. Freelancers are typically seen as more risky people because their income is,
because they're broke.
It fluctuates typically.
Yeah.
Typically on the up, but I think once you reach a point, it's going to fluctuate. What's been your experience with that, and what do you think the key is to making freelance creative life work?
I mean, I've stayed sole trader just so the money technically comes back to me.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken to a few people who had limited on a smaller scale, and they just said that they sometimes find it difficult having actually their own money, if you know what I mean. Because once they take the dividends out, they can't take any more out. So yeah, I've kind of tried to stay. I tried to say like, money comes to me, that's my money now, rather than like that's the business's money, I have to wait to take it out, or something other.
Yeah.
Was that your question? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of it's like, how do you make it happen financially? As in, like, have you got any tips or tricks to be like?
Because I keep buying kit because like it's worth. It's worth money. You can sell it again. Sometimes anyway. Sometimes it goes down in price a lot.
Yeah.
But you can charge rental on it, and like it's more desirable. You come along with that, people will be like, "Oh wow, that's cool. You brought that along."
The S1000 up on the wall is a great example.
Yeah, exactly. But you got a good use out of that.
Oh, we made our money back multiple times.
But can you still use that for like bigger payload stuff? Like cine cameras and stuff.
Yeah, we could do, but there's no tech on board. So you'd have to like carry all the video transmission stuff on the bottom.
Just put that on.
Yeah, we could do it. We could do it.
Why do you do that?
We've chosen to go down the niche of FPV, and we're
like, you do the Komodo on that.
We could do the Komodo on that.
Why do you do it then?
It's just not where we're going with stuff.
Well, it's not hard for you to just do that. It's right there, man.
Damn, he's calling me out live on the podcast. So I'm gonna shrink down.
Take it down from there, and then just put it on the.
It's easy. Just hard mount it. Like the GoPro, just hard mount it to the bottom.
Surely there's a market for that though as well.
There is a market for heavy lift drones. It's typically in the commercial and film set based work, and that's not typically where we find ourselves.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
We have done jobs like that, and as you know, I've operated like massive drones. Otherwise, it's not the most fun that we have, because it's typically where we're told exactly what to do and then treated like a operator of a piece of equipment that doesn't know anything. And we've much more enjoyed, personally, I've much more enjoyed like being on more creative shoots, which have broader scope for like creative input. Not necessarily, I think, like of myself as like self-important and I know everything, but more like I can contribute to this and like offer a solution, rather than like you've got these 2 storyboarded shots and you need to be there all day. And then like we need you to do it again, because although the drone is flying in fluid air, we need this shot to be on rails.
I suppose it's the same one. I don't do that sort of stuff, I suppose.
And also like you have the additional pressure, which I don't particularly enjoy. I just come away from the shoots. You might get paid more for them because it's unionized rates or whatever.
Yeah.
But, it's not. It's it's a whole like topic of discussion in terms of like the direction we've taken. Maybe I'm like scared of it because I don't have the film study knowledge, so I think I'm a bit of imposter syndrome going on set.
Yeah, still there's a lot of egos on some of the big sets, I think.
Yeah, if you don't have a mag liner and like 12 different colours of tape.
Small Rig's made a mag liner now.
Well, you can make it out of like scaffolding tube and everything else. But
some wheels.
Anyway, we certainly could do that, but at the moment we're flipping the Komodo upside down on FPVs and sending it on there, and it's still in one piece, so that's all good. I think it'd also be good to let the watchers and listeners know how we're connected. Talking about this big drone and buying equipment. We met on a job on the side of a Welsh mountain at Bike Park, Wales. We were flying this massive drone.
Well, you were Pete, weren't you? At the time?
It was me and Pete, and we obviously gave off the idea that we knew what we were doing with drones, and then kindly asked us. He said, "Oh, me and some mates, we're going down. Actually, we're going up to the Isle of Man. Like this Porsche is on like a PR thing up in Scotland. It's got to be like down south like in a week. But like me and some mates, we're going up to the Isle of Man. Do you want to come over? We're just going to shoot like this hero film with this Porsche, and it'll be cool.
Pay for your accommodation and stuff.
Yeah, like pay for expenses, accommodation. Like we had nothing like this on the show reel at the time. Like we were just trying to start out, so we were like, "Fuck yeah, we're going to do this. Like, let's go."
Yeah.
And then we met you guys on the Isle of Man and travelled over there by ferry. And I think it's one of my like core memories is Jethro was driving Porsche GT3 RS, like bright orange. I've never filmed anything like it before, so it was like my first time
car,
being like so close to a fast, loud car. We like stood just off the side of this road, me and Pete getting this shot, like a car like goes through shot, and I think it's like you, Sam, Riley,
and
maybe a couple of other people.
Guy was there.
Yeah, Guy like looking in the monitor, like the shot happened. And then like you all just like went mental. Yeah, like you all like I'm getting goosebumps talking about it because it's like I think it's my like moment which I chase like over and over again, like that client satisfaction. So that's what
we all want, isn't it? Really.
Yeah. So like that's where we met, and
so through Ollie DaCosta, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Initially, how we met.
Yeah. So, long time ago, 2015,
yeah, and I've done
2016.
loads of stuff since then.
But yeah, so like.
Done the Bugatti.
What other stuff have we shot together?
Bugatti 300 mile an hour, that was pretty good.
So that was in Wolfsburg, Germany.
Yeah.
We flew out there, and Bugatti were doing the first ever production car to go 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So we had Charlie from Top Gear Mag.
Charlie Turner, wasn't it?
Yeah, Charlie did his thing and kept his foot to the floor and drove it as quickly as he could.
Yeah.
And
and
this car literally sounds like a jet. And like talking to the engineers, they're like, "Yeah, our biggest problem is keeping the car on the floor."
What was funny was you like all these engineers were there and you were flying your FPV around and they were whooping and cheering at you flying your
That's
FPV.
another good
these
memory.
guys just made a car go 300 mile an hour. They just love this like, little flying drone.
Yeah, so we're like amazed by this car that just like sounds like a jet plane going past.
Yeah.
Like it's just the most insane like aerodynamic thing you've ever seen, right? And then like I've like soldered together this tiny little drone that just about flies and like whizzes around for like 3 minutes and then that's done. So I was I like got a couple of shots of it, and then they were like, "Oh, can you show us the tech?" Like they're really interested in it. I was like standing there with the goggles, and yes, I did a little like flight demo, like whizzed it past. I do like some backflips and turns or whatever, like going past at full throttle. I land. I've still got the recording because I'm so chuffed with it. I land and they just start clapping. And they're like, "Woo, yeah!" And I'm just like, I've got like 30 of these German engineers. And I'm like, please don't.
Smartest car engineers ever in the world.
And I'm like, please don't look at this closely because this is like just about hanging together. And
yeah.
It's horrendous. But they were like holding it, looking at it, like they couldn't believe like the weight of it, like how fast it could go and stuff. They're probably giving them some ideas for some cars or something. But that was a very cool job.
Yeah.
We did Driftmas. Which is like taking 10 cars to Anglesey up in northwest Wales and like drifting them for a Christmas special.
Just for lols. We've done a load of speed weeks, Top Gear speed weeks.
Yeah, speed weeks when they bring together like the best, all their best.
Yeah, that was good.
How many cars together?
I did that Skoda ice driving film.
Yeah.
But we were in Silverstone. A load of Aston stuff.
Done loads of stuff with Aston.
Yeah. You've done quite a bit with Sam now, which is good.
Done loads of work with Sam. Obviously, you introduced me to Sam, obviously on that job, and that's like one of
Well,
You're definitely
he always
one of-
gets you in, doesn't he, to do stuff?
Yeah, but you're one of like Sydney Cloud's, like we were talking about who you met initially, like your
Yeah.
group at uni, and then me and Sam. Like to us, you're probably
Yeah.
our Sam because of the people you've
To
like.
Sam and you, I'm the Sam.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
So
Yeah.
if you have a child and call it Sam, then
Oh God, I don't know if my missus will allow that.
could you imagine?
Your child's not called Sam
No,
or Ben.
my wife's called Sam though.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Is it? How dare you?
I didn't mean.
We've done a lot of cool stuff, and no doubt we'll do some more like cool.
Yeah,
cool
yeah,
stuff in
absolutely,
the
yeah,
future.
yeah.
All right, well we're close to wrapping up, and you have no idea what's coming next, but we've got a challenge for you,
Oh God.
and it is called "How Hard Can FPV?"
Oh, is this on doing the simulator?
Here is the controller, Ben. Welcome to How Hard Can It FPV?
Right.
I'll explain this to you before we start, so you can actually like see what's going on, and we can then decide how you're going to approach this. So, How Hard Can It FPV is flying an FPV drone in a straight line. No, don't start flying. You're not allowed.
I thought start again.
You're not
start
allowed.
again.
You're not allowed. I will start again in a minute.
Yeah.
You've got 3 tries. Okay. All you have to do is fly the drone through the 5 gates.
Right.
It's in a straight line. You haven't flown FPV before, so you get
No.
to hold the controller normally.
How's you?
So people who've flown FPV before have had to use the controller upside down as a handicap. So Seb,
Okay.
me, Will, we like held the controller upside down to fly. Yeah, don't you try it as well. No. You want to do it as well.
No,
You don't get any like bonus points.
Can you
for anything.
reset it?
So it's the switch on your right hand at the top. Just pull that towards the other one at the top. Just flick it towards yourself. So you've got three attempts to give this your best shot. You ready?
Yeah.
You have any idea how it's going to go? Oh God, if you get this first time, this is going to look awful. You're going to be an FPV operator. Oh, here we go. We've got the first gate, which is actually really good, but you're starting to lose control. You got this. Just small movements. There you go. You've played Warzone or flown like helicopters about in games and stuff before, right? You got the idea. Oh, it's starting to go out of control.
Wait, where am I? Where am I?
Oh.
This is really hard.
Okay, you bounced off the ground. That's fine. So you got it. All right.
Okay, dead.
First try.
Okay.
Fail.
Okay.
DNF. Second try. Let's go. How's this going to go? How you feeling? Pretty relaxed?
Yeah, pretty relaxed.
How hard can it be, right? First gate, nice and easy. Second gate, easy. Third gate, you got this. Lean a little bit forward. That's it. Oh, we got the fourth gate. This is 2 more gates.
How do you turn it to the right?
Which is the left stick, left and right.
Oh shit! Okay.
That's the second try. So the left stick, left and right, will just like turn it like this a little bit.
Yeah.
You got this now. I think you got this now. Ultimate concentration here. How hard can it FPV? Ben Cornish, his last attempt here, flying through. I think you've got this now. Just the left stick, left and right will just turn you the tiniest little bit. And I think you've got it. Here we go. He's got 1 more gate after this. Oh, he's going to smash this. Oh, no, lean the other way. Oh, he's too quick.
That'd have been a good time as well.
That would have been a good time.
Oh,
no, you got this. You got this. Come on. Right stick to the right.
This is really hard.
You got this. Oh, Ben Cornish. Unfortunately, you go down as a DNF, even with your extra try.
I would have been pretty quick as well.
It's a straight line. How hard can it FPV?
I would have been like bang in the middle.
I'm going to put you there. Is that going to stay there? Hopefully.
No, just fall off because that's where I deserve to be.
There you go. I think that's just about it. We've gone through so much in terms of your life and career and where you've been at, and also like why you've made the decisions you have, and like how comes you've ended up where you are, and all of the cool shenanigans which you're up to now. So the best place people can find your work is
just on Instagram basically. And my website.
So at Benjamin Cornish.
Yeah, and bencornish.co.uk or Vimeo, but all that stuff's kind of on my website anyway.
Cool. So for all the people that don't already know you, they now know where to go for you.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise it's probably just people that need a solid, reliable, experienced camera operator.
Yeah, I do light and shoot stuff as well. So, like people things, not just cars. So we need that. I mean, I lit this technically because I gave him the
Ben did give us some
blueprints.
helpful advice about how on earth to do this space. So
blueprints.
if it looks terrible, it's your fault.
I mean, I told you how to do it. It's whether the execution
Damn
is
it.
done right.
Harsh words. All right. Thank you so much for
Cool,
your
mate.
time today, Ben.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you everyone for listening and watching, and drop some notes and comments if you've got any, and Ben, I'm sure we'll get back to you. But I'm sure the best thing you
Yeah,
can
as
do
long
is
as it's not about Bitcoin or anything like that. There's too much of that on Instagram. Don't ask me about that.
too many hacked accounts on
Yeah,
Instagram.
exactly.
Yeah, best thing you can do is go probably follow him on Instagram and go
Yeah.
and see what he's up to, and tell him you came from this. And I hope you've had a lot of learnings from this, and you've provided some great insight into the world of a camera operator and how on earth you got here. So thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the next episode. Goodbye.